Philadelphia, 1962. 18-year-old Joe Frazier goes to the slaughterhouse every morning at 4 a.m. His boss looks at him and laughs. "You want to be a boxer? If you do this work, you can't be a boxer. It's too exhausting." Joe doesn't answer. He just punches 150-pound frozen beef carcasses with bare hands every day when no one's watching, for 6 months. Then the city's most famous trainer sees him working, and the 7 words he says in that moment carry Joe from the slaughterhouse to Madison Square Garden, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The year 1962. February, winter, cold, merciless, bone-chilling winter. Morning, 3:45 a.m., north side of the city, working-class neighborhood, small houses, narrow streets, dim lights, most people still sleeping, in their warm beds, under blankets, protected from the cold outside. But one window has a light on. A small single-story house, peeling paint on walls, cracked window panes. Inside, Joe Frazier wakes up, 18 years old, still a kid, but not living like a kid, not thinking like a kid. No luxury of childhood because life never gave him childhood. Joe gets out of bed, quietly. There are other people in the house, his uncle, his uncle's family. Joe lives with them, moved here from South Carolina, away from his family, because there are jobs here, there's hope here, there's a future here. But the future doesn't come easy. First you have to work, sweat, struggle until it hurts. Joe gets dressed, thick pants, 2 shirts layered, worn jacket, no gloves. His shoes are old, soles worn through, but he puts them on, nothing else available. Goes to the kitchen, refrigerator nearly empty. Some bread, some butter, takes it, eats it. Standing up, quickly, no time to make tea. Drinks water from the tap, cold water. Rinses his mouth, washes his face, looks in the mirror. Young face, but tired eyes. Tired beyond his years. 18 years old, but with the eyes of someone 30. Because he's seen too much, lived too much, had to grow up too early. 4 a.m. goes out the door. Outside is dark, street lamps flickering. Air is 23 degrees Fahrenheit. His breath turns to vapor. Wind cuts his face, but Joe doesn't care. Starts walking. No bus money. Walks. Every morning he walks. 2 miles, 30 minutes, in the cold, in the dark, alone. Some mornings it's snowing. Some mornings there's ice. Doesn't matter. Walks, because he has to get to the slaughterhouse, has to get to work, has to earn money, has to survive. The slaughterhouse is on the north edge of the city. Industrial zone, factories, warehouses, loading areas, places that work day and night, never closing, never stopping, grinding people down. Riverside meat processing, big gray concrete building, windows high up, small, dirty, smoke constantly coming from the chimney. Air smells of blood, disinfectant, and death. Disgusting smell. But Joe's used to it. First week his stomach churned. Now he doesn't even notice. Arrives at 4:30, entrance door open, goes inside. In the waiting room, a few more workers. Old men, tired faces, burst veins, broken dreams. They look at Joe. This kid is young. Why is he here? Shouldn't he be somewhere better? But nobody asks anything. Everyone has their own problems. No one has energy to look at someone else's problems. 5 a.m. Shift starts. Shift supervisor is Mr. Hassan. 50 years old, short, fat, bald, always grumpy. Calls out names loudly. "Mike, cold storage. Tony, cutting floor. Joe, loading." Joe nods. Goes to the loading area. The job is simple. Take frozen meat blocks coming from trucks and carry them to cold storage. 150-pound meat blocks, beef carcasses, bone, meat, fat, frozen solid. 2 people carry them together, hook them, push them, take them to cold storage. Heavy work. Back-breaking, spine-bending, arm-tearing work. First day, Joe couldn't lift them at all. Tried, fell, felt ashamed. Other workers laughed. Mr. Hassan yelled, "Get stronger or you can't stay here." But Joe didn't quit. Tried every day. Got a little stronger every day. Now he can lift them. Still hard, but he does it. Works 6 hours, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. No breaks, no sitting. Just work, carry, place, repeat. Hands go numb from the cold. Back aches from the weight. Legs shake from exhaustion. 11 a.m., short lunch break. 30 minutes. Joe goes outside, breathes the cold air, eats the sandwich he brought, bread with butter. That's it. But it fills his stomach. Can't afford anything more. During break, the boss walks by. Mr. Ibrahim, owner of the Slaughterhouse, 60 years old, tall, thin, always wearing a suit. Looks down at the workers, doesn't talk to them, doesn't see them as people, just workers, replaceable parts. But today he stops near Joe, looks. "You're new, aren't you?" Joe lifts his head. "Yes, sir. Been here 3 months." Mr. Ibrahim nods. "You're a young man. Why are you here? You should be in school." "Need money, sir. No money for school." "What happened to your family?" "They're in South Carolina. I'm here for work." Mr. Ibrahim looks thoughtful, then asks, "What are your plans for the future?" Joe hesitates. Should he say it or not? Then he says it, because there's nothing to hide. His dream isn't a secret. "I want to be a boxer, sir." Mr. Ibrahim laughs. Dismissive laugh, mocking. "A boxer? Are you serious?" "Yes, sir." Mr. Ibrahim looks around. Other workers are listening. Everyone's paying attention. Mr. Ibrahim speaks loudly so everyone can hear. "Son, be realistic. What are you doing here right now? You're carrying 150-pound meat. From morning to night, your back is breaking. Your arms are coming off. This work is already killing you. You can't do boxing and work here. It's impossible. Choose one." Silence. Everyone waiting to hear what Joe will say. Joe speaks calmly. "I already chose, sir." Mr. Ibrahim raises his eyebrows. "What did you choose?" "I'll do both." Mr. Ibrahim laughs out loud. "Both? Kid, what are you saying? You work here 6 hours. Then what? You'll go to the gym? Gym costs money. Equipment costs money. Trainer costs money. You don't have that money. How much am I paying you?" $45, sir. Per week. $45. How much do you pay for rent? $15. Food? $10. That leaves $20. With that, you can't pay gym fees, can't buy equipment. Boxing is for rich kids, not for working-class kids like you. Forget about it. Work here. Earn money. Do real work." Mr. Ibrahim turns, walks away, leaves. Other workers laugh. Some look at Joe with pity. Some shake their heads. "He wants to be a boxer. How ridiculous." Joe doesn't say anything, finishes his sandwich, drinks water, stands up, goes back to work. But something is burning inside his head. Anger, disappointment, determination. Mr. Ibrahim is right. Joe has no money, can't pay gym fees, can't buy equipment, can't hire a trainer. But Joe has one thing, will. And that night, after leaving work, walking home, an idea is born in his head. Joe didn't go home last night. Well, he did, but only to sleep. Slept 2 hours. Then alarm rang. 3:30. Got up, got dressed. But this time he did something different. Took his gym bag. Inside is boxing shorts. Old shorts. Bought them second-hand for $2. Also has hand wraps. Bought those for $1. Total $3. A week's food money. But he bought them. No gloves. No money for them. But he has wraps. That's enough. Walks to the Slaughterhouse again. Arrives at 4:30. but this time doesn't go straight to the waiting room. Goes through the side door into cold storage. Cold storage is massive, 65 feet wide, 100 feet long, 16 feet high. Inside is 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Not a refrigerator, a deep freeze. When you breathe, your lungs burn. Stay inside 10 minutes and your fingers go numb. Hooks on the walls, beef carcasses hanging from the hooks, 150 pounds each. Cold as ice, hard as stone, like actual stone. Joe opens his bag, puts on the shorts over his pants, wraps the wraps around his hands, slowly, carefully, wraps each finger, wraps the wrists, wraps the back of the hand, then approaches a carcass, stands in front of it, looks at it, 150 pounds of frozen meat, hard, motionless, silent. Joe breathes once, twice, then throws a punch, left jab. The sound is sharp. Thunk, hard sound. The meat doesn't make a sound, just the impact sound and the pain in Joe's hand. It hurts a lot, because this isn't a normal punching bag. This is frozen meat, bone inside, hard as ice. Joe's finger bones hurt, his wrist hurts, his arm hurts, but he punches again, right straight. Thunk. Pain is worse, sharper, but Joe continues. Left hook, right cross, left combo, rapid succession, fast. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Every punch is pain, every blow goes through the bones. But Joe doesn't stop. 10 minutes, keeps punching. No loss of speed, no decrease in power, then stops. Hands are numb, but there's pain, living pain. Looks at his hands, wraps in place, no blood. Good. Takes off the shorts, straightens his pants, takes off the wraps, puts them in the bag, hides the bag in a secret corner, then goes outside, goes to the waiting room. 4:55. Shift starts at 5 o'clock. Nobody noticed, nobody saw, nobody knows. Just Joe and frozen meat. Joe does the same thing every morning. Gets up at 4 o'clock, arrives at Slaughterhouse at 4:30, sneaks into cold storage, 10 minutes training, then starts normal work. Day 1, hands hurt a lot, but continues. Day 2, pain worse, joints swollen, but continues. Day 3, when he takes off the wraps, sees bruises on his hands, but no bleeding, continues. Day 4, pain starting to decrease, body adapting or going numb, doesn't matter, continues. Day 5, first time feeling power, punches coming out harder, faster, more controlled. Day 6, relaxing, pain still there but manageable, controlling it. Day 7, increases training time to 15 minutes. Nobody notices, nobody sees. Joe is silent, Joe is secret, Joe is determined. A month has passed. Joe trains every morning, now 20 minutes. Combos more complex, movements more fluid, power increasing. His hands changed, hardened, calluses formed, bones densified. Doesn't hurt as much now. Body adapted, shoulders got stronger, back muscles developed, legs more stable. Carrying 150-pound meat is easier now. Performance at work improved, Mr. Hassan notices. Joe, you're working well. Keep it up. But still, nobody knows the truth. Nobody knows that every morning, before everyone arrives, Joe trains with frozen meat in cold storage. Joe's routine is automatic now. Gets up at 3:30 a.m., at Slaughterhouse at 4, 4 to 4:30 training, 5 to 11 work. Training is now 30 minutes, because Joe gets up earlier, sleeps less, but doesn't care. Sleep is luxury. Training is necessity. His punches now carry real power. Frozen meat sways from the blows. Chains creak. Carcass moves. Heavy, massive, but moves with Joe's punches. Joe has dreams in his head. Ring dreams. Standing under dazzling lights. Fighting in front of a crowd. Applause, shouts, respect. But now there's only cold storage, 14 degrees, frozen meat. Silence. and Joe's determination. Something's changing, Joe notices. At work, other workers look at him differently. He used to look weak, now looks strong. Used to get tired quickly, now never gets tired. Can carry 150-pound carcasses by himself now, doing two-person work alone. Fast, efficient, without getting tired. Mr. Hassan notices. Joe, what are you eating? You've gotten so strong. Joe smiles. Just working hard, Mr. Hassan. But the truth is, Joe isn't just working. Joe is training. Real training. Professional training. Every morning, for 3 months. One morning, while Joe is training, something happens. Normal routine. 4 a.m. Cold storage. Joe punching frozen meat. Left, right. Combo. Fast. Powerful. Then hears a sound. Footsteps. Joe freezes. Turns. Someone standing at the door. Mr. Hassan. Both shocked. Mr. Hassan looking at Joe. Joe looking at Mr. Hassan. Long silence. 10 seconds. Feels like forever. Then Mr. Hassan speaks. What are you doing here? Joe can't answer. Caught. It's over. We'll be fired. Everything's over. But Mr. Hassan approaches, looks at Joe's hands. Wrapped. Swollen. Calloused. Then looks at the frozen meat. Then back at Joe. How long have you been doing this? Joe quietly. 4 months. Every morning? Yes. Nobody knows? No. Mr. Hassan nods, thoughtful, then says, Continue, but be careful. If the boss sees, we'll both be fired. Joe can't believe his ears. You won't tell? Mr. Hassan smiles. For the first time, real smile. No, because I see how much you want this, and seeing that, I don't want to stop you, but be careful. Mr. Hassan turns, leaves. Joe feels relieved, and now he's not alone. Someone knows. Someone supports him. 6 months passed. Joe trains every morning, now 45 minutes, because he gets up earlier. 3 a.m., incredibly early. But he does it. Joe's body completely transformed, shoulders wide, arms full of muscle, chest powerful, legs like pillars. 18 years old, but looks like a professional fighter at 25. His punches are real weapons now. Every time he hits the frozen meat, the sound is different, sharper, more powerful. Carcass sways. Sometimes chains almost break. One morning, while Joe is training, he hears a sound again. Footsteps. But this time, not Mr. Hassan. Someone different. Joe turns. A man standing at the door, middle-aged, in his 50s, black suit, fedora hat, serious face, eyes sharp, analytical. Man approaches. Looks at Joe, then looks at the frozen meat, then back at Joe. What's your name, son? Joe Frazier. How old are you? 18. How long have you been doing this? Joe hesitates. Who is this man? The owner? Police? Is there going to be trouble? But the man asks again. How long have you been doing boxing training with this frozen meat? Joe answers. 6 months. Man nods, looks impressed. Every morning? Yes, sir. Why? Joe now lifts his head. His eyes look into the man's eyes and tells the truth. Because I want to be a boxer. But no gym money, no equipment money, no trainer money. Just this, frozen meat and me. I don't know if it's enough, but I have nothing else. Man looks at Joe for a long time, silent, thoughtful, then says, My name is Kemal Yilmaz. I'm a trainer. I've been training boxers for 30 years. The best gym in the city belongs to me, and now I'm going to make you an offer. Joe's heart races, trying to hold his breath. Is this a dream? Is this real? Kemal Yilmaz continues. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., come to my gym. Parkside Boxing Club. Do you know where it is? Yes, sir. Come there. I'll give you real training, free, because I respect a kid who gets up at 4 a.m. every morning for 6 months and punches frozen meat. You're determined. Determined people win. Joe can't speak. His eyes fill, about to cry, but trying to hold it. Kamal Yilmaz touches Joe's shoulder with his hand. No gym money, no equipment money. Doesn't matter. I'll provide. You just work. You want to be a boxer. I'll make you a boxer. 7 words. In the last sentence, 7 words. You want to be a boxer. I'll make you a boxer. Those 7 words changed Joe's life. Joe stands in front of the gym at 7:30 a.m. Big building, 2 stories, glass windows. Inside, can see a boxing ring, heavy bags, speed bags, real equipment. At 8 o'clock, Kamal Yilmaz opens the door. Come in. Joe enters, first time in a professional gym. His eyes scanning everything. Incredible, like a dream. Kamal Yilmaz gives him gloves, real boxing gloves. Put these on. Joe puts them on. First time in his life wearing real boxing gloves. Heavy, firm, but perfect. Now come, hit the heavy bag. Joe approaches the bag, stands, breathes, then punches. Left jab. Sound is different, soft but firm. Bag sways, beautiful sway. Kamal Yilmaz watching. Continue, do a combo. Joe does a combo, left, right, fast, powerful, controlled. Kamal Yilmaz smiles. You've been training with frozen meat for 6 months? Yes. Impressive, because your technique is raw, but your power is real. And you're 18 years old, this strong in your undeveloped state. With proper training, you'll be a champion. Joe's eyes light up. Really, sir? Really. But you have to work. Really work. Every day, disciplined, focused. Can you do it? I will. I swear I will. Kamal Yilmaz nods. Then let's begin. From now on, you'll be here every morning at 6 a.m., 2 hours training. Then you'll go to work. Afternoon at 6 p.m., you'll come back here. 2 more hours training. Total 4 hours. Every day. Can you do it? Joe doesn't hesitate. I can, sir. Then welcome, Joe Frazier. From now on, you're my student. Joe doesn't work at the Slaughterhouse anymore. Kamal Yilmaz found him another job, lighter work, fewer hours, more training time. Joe is a full-time boxer now, training every day, morning, noon, evening, no rest days, because Joe doesn't know how to rest. Kamal Yilmaz is amazed. I've never seen such a determined kid in my life. You're hungry, Joe, hungry for victory. Because I am, sir. All my life I had nothing. Now I have a chance. I won't waste it. November 1962. Joe's first amateur fight. Small venue, 200 people. Opponent 25 years old, experienced. Fight lasts 3 rounds. Joe wins. Knockout. Round 2. Kamal Yilmaz laughing in the corner. You're a natural talent, Joe, but not just talent. You're a worker, hard-working man. That's why you win. Joe is now 20 years old, amateur champion, 38 fights, 37 wins, 1 loss, incredible record, Olympic trials. Joe wins, goes to Tokyo, 1964 Olympics, wins gold medal, returns to the world, signs as professional. Kamal Yilmaz still his trainer. Joe Frazier is now world heavyweight champion. Beat Muhammad Ali at Madison Square Garden. Historic fight, fight of the century. After the fight, in the locker room, reporters ask, Joe, how did you do it? Joe thinks long, then speaks. In 1962, when I was 18, I worked at a slaughterhouse. Didn't have gym money. Didn't have equipment money. The boss told me, you can't be a boxer, too exhausting, but I didn't listen. Every morning, before everyone arrived, I punched frozen beef carcasses for 6 months, until my hands bled, until my bones ached, because there was no other option. Reporters shocked. You punched frozen meat? Yes, 150-pound frozen meat, hard as ice. Every punch hurt. But every punch made me stronger, physically and mentally. Nobody saw? One person saw. My trainer, Kamal Yilmaz. He discovered me, gave me a chance. I'll be forever grateful to him. And the Slaughterhouse boss, Mr. Ibrahim? What did he say? Joe smiles. Today he sent me a congratulations message. Said, I was wrong, Joe. You can work and be a boxer. In fact, you can do both perfectly. And he added, I'm sorry, I should have believed in you. Joe Frazier retired, 52 years old, runs a small gym in Philadelphia, teaching boxing to young kids, free, because he was once a kid with no money. One day, a young kid comes, 16 years old, thin, poor, looks hopeless. Mr. Frazier, I want to be a boxer, but I have no money, can't pay gym fees. Joe looks at the kid, sees himself, 34 years ago, 18 years old, at the Slaughterhouse, alone, but determined. Joe smiles. Money's not a problem, son, but I'll ask you something. How much do you want it? Kid doesn't hesitate. More than anything. Then come, I'll show you something. Joe takes the kid to the back of the gym. There's an old heavy bag hanging, but this isn't an ordinary bag. Joe's old bag, from 1962. See this bag? This wasn't my first training equipment. My first equipment was frozen meat carcasses at the Slaughterhouse, every morning at 4 a.m. for 6 months, nobody watching, because I had no other way. Kid is shocked. You really punched frozen meat? Yes. And now I'll tell you, equipment doesn't matter, money doesn't matter, gym doesn't matter. The only thing that matters, how much you want it. If you really want it, you'll find a way. I did it with frozen meat. What will you do? Kid thinks, then says, I'll do it, whatever it takes. Joe nods. Then welcome. From now on, you're my student, free. Only condition, come every day, work every day, never give up. Kid smiles, first time seeing hope in his eyes. Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Joe touches his shoulder. Don't thank me. Thank Kamal Yilmaz, who gave me a chance 34 years ago. I'm just paying it forward. Philadelphia, 1962. A slaughterhouse, 4 a.m., 150-pound frozen meat, and an 18-year-old kid. No money, no equipment, no support. But he has a dream, 6 months, every morning, nobody watching, until hands bleed, until bones ache. And those 6 months changed a life, from slaughterhouse worker to world champion. Joe Frazier's story teaches one thing: no excuses, only desire. If you really want it, you'll find a way. Can't find a gym, work in the street. Can't find equipment, work with your hands. Can't find a trainer, teach yourself. Because success doesn't come from luxury. Success comes from hunger. Success comes from accepting to get up at 4 a.m. Success comes from continuing to punch until your hands bleed. Success comes from saying, I will, when everyone says, impossible. In 1962, a boss told Joe, you can't be a boxer, too exhausting. In 1971, Joe became world champion at Madison Square Garden. What did someone tell you? Too hard, too expensive, too late. You're not good enough. And what did you say? Did you listen? Did you give up? Or like Joe, did you get up at 4 a.m.? Did you find your frozen meat? Did you work for 6 months when nobody was watching? Because the question isn't, do you have equipment? The question is, do you have desire? Joe didn't have equipment, but he had desire, and desire was enough. Is your desire enough?